Welcome to Debriefing 101. The learning outcomes for this module are to identify the structure of the debriefing process, understand the importance of the debriefing process in simulation, examine the advocacy inquiry model for debriefing, and differentiate between feedback and debriefing. The learning objectives for this module are, at the end of this presentation, the learner will be able to define debriefing, understand the role of the facilitator, list the components of the pre-brief, and identify the structure of the debrief. What is debriefing? Debriefing is a structured time led by a facilitator. The students are guided to promote reflective thinking to make meaning from their actions. Why is debriefing important? By reflecting on their actions, debriefing promotes critical thinking. This helps close knowledge gaps for future application. There is a difference between feedback and debriefing. In feedback, it is a one-way conversation from the facilitator to the student. Debriefing is a two-way conversation between the facilitator and the student, and they're answering questions based on reflection of their experience. As a facilitator, we must remember the basic assumption. We must believe that our students are intelligent, they want to do their best, and want to improve. We need to maintain a positive attitude, of course, maintain structure, and be inquisitive with our students. We need to remember this is a student-centered approach. As a facilitator, we are guiding the discussion to engage all the participants in the debrief. There are various models of debriefing. Some examples are time in, time out, structured and supported debrief, plus Delta, and advocacy inquiry, and that's what we use here at Rutgers School of Nursing. Advocacy inquiry is a three-part questioning technique for debriefing that enables the facilitator to be transparent with observations while exploring the student's thinking. And the three parts are observation, point of view, and inquiry. Before the simulation, a discussion called pre-brief is held to set up the environment, set ground rules, and discuss the activity with the students. The first thing you want to do is to provide for physical comfort and build trust. You want to set up the environment so it is comfortable. Introduce yourself and your background and have the students introduce themselves as well. Address the value of simulation and, of course, state the objectives for the learning. The next, you want to discuss the environment. You want to discuss the simulation. Review the simulation area and any equipment that the students need to use. Inform the students if there will be any visitors, and inform them of their schedule and how many participants in each group. You want to establish a fidelity fictional contract that you want to discuss with the students that although the mannequin and the environment is not real, but everyone agrees to participate as if it is a real scenario and play their roles to the best of their ability during the simulation. Then you need to set the ground rules. Make sure you express confidentiality. The entire simulation falls under HIPAA rules. What happens in the sim lab stays there. And also prepare the students for the debriefing. Discuss that they will be reflecting on their behaviors afterwards. The facilitated debrief guides the students' reflections on the simulation to be able to apply it later to clinical practice. The debriefing should be outside the simulation environment, and also try to have the students as well as the facilitator sit in a circle. There are many roles of the facilitator during the debrief. They need to support the students and provide structure, maintain a safe environment, communicate the objectives to the student, and provide constructive feedback and debriefing. It requires active listening skills and to be aware of verbal and nonverbal communication from the self and students. There are three parts to the debriefing: reaction, understanding, and summary. Immediately post-simulation, ask the students their reaction to the simulation. Allow the students to express their feelings about the experience. You might want to ask, how did you feel about the simulation? Next is the time to analyze the actions during the simulation. You want to concentrate on the objectives for the activity and review the simulation case with the students. Ask thought-provoking questions to promote reflective thinking, and the clinical judgment should be discussed. Any performance gaps need to be identified and strengths emphasized. In the end, you want to summarize. Review the major topics that were discussed. What went well? What needs to be changed? And how can the students use their new learning in clinical practice? You might want to go around the room and ask, one thing I learned today was. In summary, structured debriefing by a trained facilitator enhances the students' learning. In reflecting on their actions, the students will be able to apply their learning in future situations.